The- Hello and welcome to the OffTheMark podcast. It's Luke, and with me as always is
It's me, Fred. Here I am.
This week begins our prequel arc, as we're going to be calling it, or it can be given a name. I don't really care, but it is a prequel arc. We're going to be going through the prequel film, apart from 1 week off where we talk about DC's fandom. This week we're reviewing the Phantom Menace, even though that might not be clear because I might have clickbaited the ass out of this. Who knows? Anyway, we're gonna be going through the negatives and then the positives. I think we're both kind of on the positive side. I don't know. There's a lot to love about these films. There's a lot to hate about these films as well, though. So it's like, but I think we're both probably more on the positive end, not the RLM end, not the Mr. Plinkett. What the hell? And you're aware of Mr. Plinkett, right?
Yep.
Yeah, his reviews are good, but some of the points, Jesus Christ. His one on Rogue One was terrible. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm gonna hand Fred over to start with his negatives.
All right. So, I have a few negatives. I have more negatives for Phantom Menace. So this is gonna be interesting because I have about 22, 23, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, somewhere in that region.
Yeah. Obviously, if you need explanation, I will try and give my best.
Yeah.
So
I'll be adding on to a little bit. It's not going to be as formatted as maybe it could be, but it's going to be sort of tight, bouncing back and forth with good things, bad things. But with
my first issue with Phantom Menace, and this was an interesting one, and I want to know if you remember this. Do you is quick moving looks weird, so which is like when Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn are in front of the door and they get attacked by destroyers and they do like this weird like shimmering moving thing to the side.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, wait. Why? Just
yeah.
It confused me and just really strange.
Yeah.
All right. Second one, you may agree with. Jar Jar.
Yeah. See, to be honest, I don't think Jar Jar is bad per se. He serves a purpose, but he's just annoying. He doesn't suit the tone of these films at all.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, in the original trilogy, the comic relief was R2D2 and C3PO, and they were comic relief that can be enjoyed by any demographic. This is 5-year-old. If 5-year-olds don't laugh at this, we are absolutely screwed. And 5-year-olds don't laugh at Jar Jar.
Yeah. So technically, I had another point, but it kind of ties into the one I just said, which is Jar Jar's random noises, which is where like he does like the weird like mannerisms.
Yeah, I think a lot of people say, "Oh, the miso weso" or fellow delegates, or no, what was it? Fellow delegates. Yeah, I seem to remember it the right way around. It's like that doesn't bother me too much, but it's more the it's like I just like the weird noises. It's kind of like Lex Luthor in BBS, but just like the weird noises. Why?
Okay, so my other one, kind of linked to the one I just said. So Boss Leone, is I'm not too fond of Gungans.
Yeah.
I'm really not, because I kind of just look at Gungan and I think, okay.
Yeah. To be honest, I kind of like Boss Nass. A little bit. Not sort of. I wish he wasn't there, but it's not the worst thing to happen to Star Wars, To be fair, neither is Jar Jar. But yeah, the Gungans are just annoying. They're just like floppy duck things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, the thing cut out then.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So another one. Okay. So there's a line where it says there's always a bigger fish, and I'm thinking probably one of the cheesiest lines.
It's one of the cheesiest lines, but it's. I
Not
actually
the
thought.
worst.
I thought that was like a fun foreshadowing. So it's you've got Maul, the bigger fish is Palpatine.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like that was sort of poking at that. Oh, there's always a bigger fish. There's always someone
Yeah.
controlling that person. I think they tried
It's
to play
like
on that idea in Solo, but they did it really badly. It's like, oh, behind this girl is this guy, and behind this guy is Darth Maul. It's like that it didn't function there. There was no
yeah.
subtlety to it. It's just
Mm. Um. So let's see. So okay, this was one thing that made me laugh, but just kind of annoyed me. Idiotic questioning of droids, and I have to explain this. So the scene where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan get everyone off, where they're trying to get everyone to the ship, and the droids are like, "Where are you taking them?" It's like, "Oh, I'm an ambassador of the Republic. I'm taking these people to Coruscant." And they're like, "Where are you taking them?" And he goes, "To Coruscant." And I'm like,
yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah, I think droids. One issue I have, droids are probably a touch too weak. Like they're probably presented a bit better in Attack of the Clones because they are like just in thousands they will dominate. But it's like in this one, the opening has the Jedi just wandering through, cut down like 15 of them, 20, easy paper. Okay.
yeah. Well, so my next point is awkward conversation between Padme and Jar Jar on the ship.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just thinking, either this has got to be one of the most awkwardest conversations I've seen in this film, or it's just really forced, like kind of like to bridge like a gap between like, oh, the Naboo and the Gungans. I'm like, do you really need
Yeah.
to do that right now?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of my points. Next one is I'm not a big fan of Watto
Yeah. I
because
can vouch.
because I don't know. It's like when you look at, he's just like makes me really uncomfortable. And just like if you got someone that weird and really strange close to you, who kind of acts like that, it's just uncomfortable. And it's like I think obviously they meant for him to just be like really like an uncomfortable person to be, or well, uncomfortable type of thing to be next to. And I'm just ugh, not a big
Yeah.
fan. I got another cheesy line, which is, "Are you an angel?"
See, I have issues with this because I don't think the line is the problem. B, I don't blame Jake Lloyd for how he acted that line.
Are
Uh,
you an angel?
well, yeah, because I think Mark Hamill said it a bunch. Like Jake
Yeah.
Lloyd did exactly what George Lucas wanted him to do. You
It's
can't
just
put
weird
any of
because
this.
it kind of sounds like it's like a pickup line, like, "Hey, baby, are you an angel?"
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's like a small child saying it to a much more to an
Yeah,
older.
yeah. So, to someone who's what, 14, 13, I think she's supposed to be? I think she's
Yeah.
13. It's like,
So that went.
oh, okay, so you think she's pretty. Okay, yeah. Alright. Alright, there's other ways of doing that. I think there's probably other wording for it. But also, you can blame being cringy on, like, that is literally a 9-year-old kid or whatever. A 9-year-old kid. She's a female for the first time, that's not his mother. Like a human female for the first time. And it's like, I, 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 I'm fine with it, but it is, it's just George's direction was terrible across all these films.
Well, I don't know. It's obviously just there are things that a lot of people can poke things at. So I have another one, but I don't know whether or not this is the right one, which is Anakin steps in to help conveniently when Jar Jar is getting beaten up by Sebulba.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, he just happened to be there.
Yeah.
So,
That was also an issue on Tatooine, because you're kind of going through it by the timeline, so I think I'll just poke in whenever I feel the need to. Why is Greedo there? Why is that canonically Greedo? Why do you have to keep forcing characters into where they don't need to be just so you can go, oh, that's Greedo? Nobody gives a crap about Greedo. Except they do, only because they wrecked that one scene in the special edition. Yeah.
So, as obviously my next 2 points are just lines that are said, and one of them is no one can kill a Jedi. When obviously, if you
but the line that followed that up is "If only that were true" by Qui-Gon. And like, if you look at Anakin is quite far out from the Republic and stuff. So I'll defend that line because for him, Jedi are only a myth. Well, not a myth. They exist, but they're like far off. You never think you'll ever see one. I can kind of justify that because he would have read the stories of all the Jedi massacres that have happened.
Yeah.
Okay, next line. What was the other line?
He was. So this is a weird one, which is what Shmi says, and it's he was meant to help you, and I'm thinking, what do you mean by that?
So repeat that.
So she says to Qui-Gon, nonchalantly saying he was meant to help you.
Yeah, I don't remember the context of that line.
So basically, they were talking about like Qui-Gon was talking how like, oh, I can feel that he has the Force, he has abilities, and then she was like, oh, he was meant to help you, and I'm thinking,
yeah,
right. So where's this going?
Yeah, I get that. That's it's not incredible.
Not the best. What are you about to say?
No, I didn't have anything. I was done.
Oh. My next one is just metachlorians.
Oh, metachlorians. See, I hate doing this to myself, but I keep justifying things like this in my head. They never said. I don't. I'm forcing myself not to. Okay, so in my head, I've always seen midichlorians as a thing that that are aware of force users and go to force users, and therefore, if you've got like the stronger force user you are, the higher midichlorian count you have, because these bacteria or whatever are attracted to the Jedi or to force users. I don't think they're good because this isn't how it was intended. However, I do think that someone like Dave Filoni or someone that hasn't watched Star Wars, someone can write it that way and it changes what that means entirely and it becomes good suddenly.
Was metachlorians ever mentioned in Clone Wars?
I think there must have been.
Because I can't remember ever hearing it.
I think it's probably mentioned once or twice, but Dave Filoni isn't a prequels fan. That was the thing that a lot of people always said. The Clone Wars was a show made by people who really hated the prequels, and it's like, I think Dave Filoni did a lot of things to recover the prequels, and because of the Clone Wars, I love that era. As the films are, but it's like he managed to recover a lot of things.
Yeah, like not gonna lie, I watched all three prequel films and I thought, all right, they're cool. A few weird things in it, and then I watched the Clone Wars and I went back and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what it meant, and I was like, wow, I'm actually liking this a lot more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like obviously he's brung life into something that obviously not not a lot of people were actually into, but now they kind of are like, wow, that's what it means.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, he did a lot for the prequels.
Mm-hmm. So my next point is, so Jabba. Where do I begin with this? Um,
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how I feel because not gonna lie, Jabba in the Phantom Menace. He kind of looks a bit weird,
I
if I'm
don't like
honest.
how he looks. He looks like a special editions Jabba. In
Yeah.
episode 4, he looks like kind of dodgy. The thing with the puppet Jabba is that it looked like a slimy, horrible slug. It looked tangible, and
Mm.
like I don't think CGI is a massive issue, except when it is. But we'll probably get to that in episode 2. Like the CG is at its worst in episode 2, I think.
Yeah, I'm actually going to agree with you on that because that's one of my points in the second one.
Because I'm sure we'll get to the CGI clones in a bit.
Yeah. Okay. So
I mean,
my next point is
yeah.
okay. Yep. So my first thing, I don't know how you feel about this, but I kind of feel like the first fight on scene between Qui-Gon and Maul was kind of rushed a bit,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
See, I think they probably should have had more be be sort of watching around the pod racing scene. Like
Mm.
have a presence there, and then right as this finishes, Qui-Gon notices more and recognizes Race being Zabrak, is it? I know some
Yeah,
Dathomir, but yeah,
yeah,
Zabrak.
Zabrak. He's Zabrak.
Get nervous because of black robes, and then hurry along. Um, um, Watto with Anakin, getting Anakin, and I would basically want as this is happening, um, Qui-Gon to be trying to get Anakin as far away as possible. We can't get Anakin away until he's dealt with Watto. But he also needs to. But also, Maul is wiping his way through, some civilians. I mean,
Yeah,
because as soon as Maul's realised Qui-Gon's onto him, then why not? Like, make Maul terrifying. Just having, wiping through this, easy, as if it's nothing. I think that'd make him much more intimidating. I don't mind the fight being short. I just wish there was a bit more sort of
yeah.
tension.
At
No, the
least
tension
have
build
like
up.
Maul actually kill someone. Because
Yeah,
think about this: the only person he ever killed in the prequels, like in Phantom Menace, was just Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon. Yeah,
And not gonna lie, if you had a thing where he basically went for
massacred.
information.
Oh, yeah, massacred a bunch of people on Tatooine or something. It's like,
Either that, or he could have killed a few of the crew members on board on the ship as they were trying to escape.
nah, because there was only one or two, wasn't there? Like the pilot and another.
Or just or like you could have it so that there was like some people who were trying to help fix something, and then obviously they got in the way and they just
See,
got sliced down.
see, I'm not as big on that because I think Qui-Gon would have made it his priority to save these people. Because the second someone of importance is dead, then it becomes a majorly political matter. Killing
Yeah,
a bunch of people on Tatooine isn't really in the Republic, but so it's not a big political issue. But if you kill someone who's a bodyguard of the flipping Queen,
yeah.
oh, her being the Queen, I will get to.
That could actually, not gonna lie, that could have been interesting because if Maul had killed someone, and Qui-Gon was like, "Oh, we gotta make him pay for this. You gotta make him pay for this," and then he gets back to Coruscant, and they're like, "Well, they're not part of the Republic, so they don't matter," and that's kind of what sends them over the edge. And like, I'm gonna go against this.
Yeah,
It would have been an interesting plot.
I think Maul needed to do something big. I don't mind him because we got him in Clone Wars, but I think him massacring a bunch of people would have
not gonna lie. Look at the first episode that he is actually properly back in it. So when he gets his legs back, what's the first thing he does? Goes to a different planet and basically massacres an entire village.
Yeah, I think you just need something like that because that wouldn't change the Clone Wars at all, but it would make you go, "Oh, this guy can do some stuff," and it's like, they just say, "Oh, he's a Sith Lord. Sith Lords are bad. The Sith Lords kill." Okay, but I think we really needed to see what someone like that could do because up until that point, we hadn't had like a true Sith Lord go through and wipe out a bunch of people, did we? We kind of had Vader in episode 4, but that wasn't like a massacre. That was sort of a picking people off until he got what he wanted, which was Leia. And then, I don't think we ever had a Sith Lord go through and just wipe out people.
Technically, you could have had a thing where like he senses Anakin's power and how much the Force is strong within him, and then he could switch his attitude from Qui-Gon to Anakin.
Yeah,
that would have been an interesting one.
If he did that during the pod race, and his goal was Anakin, he got distracted from his main goal because this child. He sees that this child is the chosen one, but he also sees that this child will cause the downfall of everything. Yeah. And not even he wanted that. And like, I just think there was a bit more you could have done. I don't think he was a bad character. He did exactly what he needed to. But I just think he could have done a bit more that would have been really fun. And I don't think it would have been a massive step to do those things.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like Maul is a really cool character. I think, like, obviously, when the first film came out, I think he was the highlight of it.
Yeah, I think he was cool. I think Qui-Gon's probably the better character though. Like way better acted, sort of. Just yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so my next one is I want your opinion on this. So the scenes where it goes back to Naboo in the palace, and you have where you have Newt Gunray and you have like some of like the ministers from Naboo, and I'm thinking these scenes are just kind of boring to me because they're saying, "Oh, people are dying," but I'm thinking this isn't really getting me into what's actually happening. All you're saying is, "Oh, they're starving people," and
I wish we'd seen it.
Yeah.
So when Padme got back to Naboo, I wish we'd seen some of these like
the carnage
camps. Yeah. Windows that had been destroyed, doors that had been blown in, stuff like that. I just wanted to see a consequence. Like, we never saw that. We were told it, but I just think we needed more.
It was weird because they went back and forth between different scenes where they had ones of Newt Gunray talking to the ministers, Newt Gunray and whoever was with him talking to Darth Sidious. And within it, I'm just thinking, there's nothing here that I kind of want to be like, oh, this is interesting. It's kind of like, it's not that great. It just kind of bores me. Yeah. So my next one is, so this is the weird thing. So the weird interaction between Anakin and Padme, and it's the thing where they're both like in this room together and they're talking. And he goes, "Oh, I made this for you." And I'm thinking, when did you get the time to make that?
Yeah. Wait, no. Wouldn't it be maybe like a trinket he had? I think
because he said, "I made it." He said, "I made it."
Yeah, I think you could have done that. You could have said that better. But I don't think it's enough. If you just said, "This is a trinket," or "This is a thing off my pod racer that I managed to keep," or something, you could have done it better. But yeah, I get your issue.
Yeah, it's more or less like he said, "Oh, I made this from that," and I'm thinking, we never saw this happen.
Mm. Yeah.
And
Yeah. When did he do this? Did he have a chance? I don't remember if he had a chance. He might, but yeah, I think that's a fair issue.
yeah. What's my next one? And the next one is. Hold on. We've already chatted about this. So it's
Yeah.
another one about metachlorians, which we've kind of covered.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. Hangar. So the hangar scene shows so it kind of shows it's a bit too chaotic for me because I'm trying to keep up with what's happening, and all I can see is just people running about after that, and you're thinking, who is who?
Sorry, I missed that.
It's you know the hangar scene where like they all finally come back to Naboo, and you got the thing where people are going to their fighters. Anakin jumps in one, and there's like a gun battle within the hangar.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like
I think there needed to probably be a bit more development within that hangar.
yeah,
Wait,
there's
hold
a
on.
bit too more chaotic.
So if we've gone all the way to the hangar, why the hell do you bring a child to a war zone?
That's very true.
Sorry, no, he is a 9-year-old child. I could probably picture a better way of doing it just off the top of my head. If they drop him off with the Gungan families, because that's where he'd be safe. Like, no one, like, that was probably the best.
So I have an interesting idea which I wanted to talk to you about.
But if you had him still away with the, yeah, okay, go on.
Yeah. So would it have been interesting for Anakin to have witnessed Qui-Gon die at the hands of Maul? And this would have like influenced his opinion, being like, I want to help. I want to help more, so I'm gonna go through all the Jedi to be a Jedi, so that I can prevent things like this from happening ever again to the people I care about. Because Qui-Gon is like the original father figure to Anakin.
Yeah, so in a perfect world, the first three are four, and like the first three are four. So you have episode one. I would say Qui-Gon should get mortally wounded by Maul, but not killed, and then so to enforce the brother aspect, Anakin and Obi-Wan grow up together, like they train together under Maul, and then Maul. And then you probably have cybernetic leg Maul come back, kill Qui-Gon, but Anakin and Obi-Wan are just enough to be able to get rid of him to some capacity in number two, and then number three, or then number two, or now three, plays out the same way it does, just so we can reinforce the brother aspect.
Yeah. So my next point is Gungans versus droids could have used a bit more, because I kind of feel like there could have been like a bit more. They could have put a bit more tension in there, like have more of like a important character, like more important characters than just Jar Jar.
Yeah.
I have it like as in like, oh, this character's gonna die, and
yeah, there's a lot of just known it. See, I think it's why the battle in every Avengers film works so well, because at least on one side you've got a fully formed group of developed characters. In the first Avengers, you've got all of these Avengers that have been developed, except Hawkeye and Black Widow, but this is their film anyway. And then Avengers 2, well, it's these characters again fighting an army, and you just don't get that with these films. It's an army versus an army, and none of these characters have been developed except one, but that one is Jar Jar, and good God.
Okay, so I have two more points, and then I'm finished on what I didn't like. So so this one is a line that Anakin says, which is, "Now this is pod racing."
Uh, 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 yeah, yeah. That kind of sucks, because he just had the biggest pod race of his life. Like the biggest pod race ever. I want to talk more about that pod race, just a touch, just for a second now.
Yeah.
During that pod race, what is it? Is it one lap? Is it supposed to be one lap, or is it 3 laps?
It's three. It's three.
So it's so Anakin's thing breaks down because it's been tampered with by I can't remember the one's name.
The Bulba.
Yes, the Bulba, and then so it's a good at least a minute until he's able to get going again, and he still manages to catch up. So, as a character, I do not think Anakin is a Mary Sue or a Gary Stu, but Jesus Christ. I think a better way of doing it would have been is if he'd gotten going and it had started to fall apart, and he had to fix it on the fly while he was in his pod racing, because obviously Anakin built the pod racer. Wait, he didn't he? He did build it.
Yeah, he did.
And therefore, it wouldn't just be, oh, luck, I managed to catch up. He would maybe drop back a few places, but he managed to fix on the fly and just scrapes through the rest of the pod race and just about manages to win it. I think that would have been a better way of doing it rather than just having catch up all that way in such a short time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, technically, there was a bit where, like, obviously one of his engines came off, and obviously he has to try and fix it on the fly. And I do agree with you. I kind of wish we had seen a bit more of that.
Yeah, I just wish that would have been the main struggle instead of, I can't go. Okay, 2 minutes later, I'm finally going. Oh, I won.
And my final one. Now, this is one that we kind of mentioned, but it's more of like what you mentioned for the next one. And so the Gungan battle versus the droids, it was all right. Could have used a bit more, and the CGI looked all right. Just one problem with that entire thing.
Yeah.
And there was one tank that the CGI looked horrible on it. The CGI absolutely horrible.
Anything that's in not the foreground, but sort of in between the focus and the background, and you see where the animators have gotten lazy, like Jar Jar in some scenes where he's sort of in the middle distance. I think that's the word for it, and he just looks so terrible.
It's weird because it's like right in the middle, and the frame is focused on this tank, and the CGI is horrible, and I generally just don't know, like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. I don't hate the CGI as much as most people. In fact, most of the problems I have aren't common issues, but it's like you just maybe you should have just spent another year on it, George.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. So okay, that was all of my. Those are all my disappointing things from the film.
And then I'll probably I'll take the lead on the positives, because, and then you can feel free to pop in. These aren't going to be in order as yours are because I went back. I was all over the place. I think the first one I want to start off with is the thing people hate most in the prequels is not an issue. What do you think I'm talking about? The goddamn politics. The politics are good. So they might not sort of come across as then, are they boring? They take up like 4 minutes of screen time in Phantom Menace and like 7 in Attack of the Clones. But they're the most boring thing in the world. Oh, God forbid, Star Wars establish how its universe is working. So it's like, with politics, it allows you to establish the status of the universe, how planets are interacting, what species function together, what don't, it shows the status of the galaxy and I'll bring in 7 now, because I hate it. In episode 7, 5 Republic worlds get wiped out. What do any other planets that are run by the Republics think of this? No? Oh. We just assume they're fine with it then.
Hmm.
It's like, you just establish your world better. And I think these films do it fine. If anything, I think we needed more politics. I think there's some things missing, but you know. But yeah. Do you have any thoughts on the politics? Sorry, you still here? You still here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm here. I'm listening.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the politics?
I think it kind of shows off like this is in a galaxy which is ravaged by a lot of like political standpoints,
Yeah.
and it is kind of similar to how
Yeah.
an interesting quote, which is interesting.
You just completely cut out. You just completely cut out there.
Sorry. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So an interesting thing was like you cannot do anything without one person whispering one thing in your ear and another one doing it to the other one, and you're stuck in a stalemate.
Yeah.
It's always an interesting one.
Yeah. Problem with politics. A lot of people say they don't know who the main character is. Do you have mental problems? It's Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon gets top billing. He is the most important character in this film. He is like, I don't know how you can not know. Would anyone else be the main character? Palpatine's barely in it. Padme's not as heavily present as she is in later ones. Anakin is not in it until what, minute 30 ish? Maybe later than that. I think it's about minute 50, something along those lines. It's like, you know.
Well, from a standpoint, you could say it's either Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan. Obviously,
Yeah.
Qui-Gon is more on screen, but Obi-Wan is also along there with him.
Yeah, I think it's probably Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Padme in terms of billing, because that's how they're. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan's the first characters shown, so it's not unobvious. It's not unclear, really. What else? Do you want to hit me with some of your positives? I feel like you'll have a few.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. How many do you want me to do?
Just hit me with 2 or 3.
I think the visuals for the most part look good in the film.
For their time, they were definitely really good. They haven't aged great, and some of the time, I think you could have just made things practical and it would have been easier. Like, make an actual model of those droid tanks things. Make actual models of things, and then base your CGI off of them. Because, as we know with the clones, there was never anything physical. Well, it's the same as the clones. There was never anything physical for people to work off of. There was obviously concept art, but they didn't have like a physical structure where shadows would be, that sort of thing.
Yeah, very true. So my next one is me combining two together. Liam Neeson and Hugh McGregor are very good in this film.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I enjoyed watching them.
Yeah, both really good. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't think Ewan McGregor was quite where he got to in episode 2 or 3. but he was good.
No,
He was really rather good.
because before doing Star Wars, I think the film that he came off before doing this was Train Spotting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so it's interesting because going from that to something very big production, as in like millions and millions, then it's cool.
Yeah, he really Trainspotting did a lot for him. On Tatooine, I think they managed to capture the same griminess that there was in episode 4 and 6.
Yeah.
Like Tatooine doesn't feel like a nice place to be in. It shouldn't have. It felt horrible. It felt like no one would ever want to be there, and no one would ever want to have their lightsabers buried there. What?
Uh-huh.
I think pod racing scene is for the most part pretty good. There's a couple of CGI errors, like not CGI that looks bad, literal errors. When have you seen the Corridor digital video?
I don't actually know if I have.
They did a video on the CGI in the prequels. A lot of the time there were slip ups in how I think it was frame order or something. Like a lot of the time, at least one occasion, at least one, not a lot. So as something was about to hit a rock, it started exploding. Like the rock started exploding, it started exploding before it actually hit the rock. And it's like a couple of issues like that you really can't say, oh, that's not an error at all. Well, obviously it is. That's not how things work.
Very much so.
And it's like the objectivity argument in film, whether you like it or not, a plot hole is a plot hole. And like that's an issue. It's probably more so a nitpick. For episode 2 we will go over the definition of nitpick because I think there's a misconception where that's concerned. Nitpick does not mean what you think it means. But yeah, I think a couple issues there, but I'm not too bothered. I think it was a pretty good scene in general. Like, it doesn't have much wrong with it. I struggle to praise it, but I also struggle to say anything against it, really.
Yeah. Do you want me to do another good point, or?
Yeah, hit me with another good.
This is the thing. So you know that I'm always a big fan of the villain.
Yep.
No matter what I'm watching, I'm always looking to see, okay, is this villain good? What's the motive? Is he likable? Is he despised more than anything? It's one of those things. It's why I quite like comic book stuff and supervillains.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, and I quite like this. So it's Darth Maul's like introduction into it was really cool because it's the thing where Sidious is just there like I'm sending my apprentice Darth Maul, and he just comes and crosses his arm and looks at him.
Steps into the hologram frame. How the hell do holograms work anyway?
I don't know. But it's like the theme that goes with it. I'm just like,
yeah.
You can tell this guy is not to be messed with.
When he says theme, he doesn't mean The Last Jedi. Oh, it had themes of love. No, he meant score. Because Maul doesn't have a theme, but it's the score that goes along with that scene.
Yeah, it's more of like I think it was kind of more of so it went from like the Sith one, then it went to like a dun dun dun, and I was like, ooh,
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, the music is always great. I don't think you can. I mean, Rise of Skywalker messed with music a lot. Like, the music in Rise of Skywalker is dreadful.
Oh, I was so disappointed when I did not get to hear the thing that I heard in the trailer.
Oh, the
you know the trailer where? Yeah, I heard that and I was like, oh my gosh, are we getting a throwback? Something didn't happen in the film. I was like, are you having a laugh?
I'll send you a video essay and I'll probably link it below if I remember. I might not. I might, but who knows? So I'll link you a video essay someone did on the themes. Like this song messed with like the Force theme, Leia's theme, Obi-Wan's theme, all of them. It messed with them bad. Not this one. I mean, Frost.
Yeah.
And we'll get there eventually, but that's gonna have a long list attached. I think that'll probably come out alongside my Divided Skull review that will be up on my channel in 4 months, I think. So, a long way for that. Work on it for a long time. If I finish it by the end of the year, it'll be a miracle.
Gosh. By the way, so you know that you were talking about like the video of like messing around with themes.
Yeah.
So there was one that I remember I really like listening to. So there are two of them, and if I can find them, so there is Battle of Heroes and Duel of Fates mixed together.
Yeah, that was quality.
And then it's Duel of Fates and the Imperial March mixed together.
Yeah.
And woo, I don't know why. It's like one of those themes where like you mix it together, like that sounds very good.
Yeah, the ability to the ability to combine two tracks and make them incredible is something very few have, but John Williams just has that. He's just incredible. Yeah. One more positive. So after they leave Tatooine, I think we should probably. What the hell am I on about? I think we should probably go to the last fight, right? I don't have much to phrase in between there and there, unless you have anything. I don't really know. Look, that the last fights were great, good, borderline great.
Yeah, just fantastic.
I think it's probably one of the better ones in the series. I would probably go Return of the Jedi, fight scene wise. Return of the Jedi, Empire, Anakin Obi-Wan, this, and then everything else in all 9. Because the first two I listed, so Return of the Jedi and Empire, they had far more emotional weight to them. Like, we didn't get enough more characterization wise for this to mean as much. So it's probably a better fight in terms of choreography, but the fight just didn't mean as much. Yeah. So it's a really well choreographed fight, though. I can't really complain about anything in it because, well, it's a good fight. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say on the fight?
No, just the fact that obviously they created the most kick-ass theme in existence to go with it.
The theme to go alongside this is undeniably the best theme. Just the best music in all styles except the Force theme, and the Luke Binary Sunset theme. Like those two are just perfect. But this is, for me, just below them, and yeah, it's probably the best music you hear during a fight scene.
Well, it's my second favorite Star Wars theme.
Yeah.
And not gonna lie, this like Duel of Fates is in all of the prequels. It's in Phantom Menace, it's in Attack of the Clones, and it's in Revenge of the Sith. And they do choose like scenes that are fitting.
Yeah.
Apart from one, there is one that I don't think is fitting.
Yeah.
And it's in Attack of the Clones.
We'll get there. Yeah. Attack of the Clones will be next week. Yeah. He's had to watch both Attack of the Clones and the Phantom Menace this week. Instead of like I'm doing it, I watched Phantom Menace earlier, and then I'm gonna watch Attack of the Clones right before we do the next one, but he doesn't get that luxury.
Nope.
So I'll probably take the lead on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the Qui-Gon funeral scene.
I think they dealt with it quite good.
Yeah. I especially like the line from Palpatine that I will follow your career with great interest. It's just a fun line.
Oh.
Okay. I
Mm.
mean, you're Supreme Chancellor. You're not like. Uh, wait. Is I have a question.
Oh,
Is
go on.
Chancellor Palpatine a Waterfile?
Oh, okay. That's an interesting one.
I mean, it's a question. But yeah. I don't have much more to say really. This is
Oh,
this is sorry. After, I wanted to do this before we got going, but do you want to rank Star Wars films from favorite? No, from best to worst. Best, not favorite.
well, prequels.
No, just all of them, because we're gonna
Oh,
go
all of
through
them.
all of them eventually. Yeah, even
So,
even the crap ones.
okay. So, do you want me to just say what my favorite one is, and then my
Uh,
least favorite?
no, I'm not saying favorite. I'm saying best. I'm like try and be more objective than subjective. You know what I mean?
All right. So, which one? So, which one do I feel
Is the
everyone
best.
thinks is the best?
I'm not asking.
Okay. Okay.
And then go from first to last. You don't know. Go for how much you like them. Go from first to last. I think we
So
should.
this is based on how everyone likes them or
No,
my.
do your own. Do your own. Do your own. That
All right.
was
So do you want me to start with my favorite?
yeah. You should go
Okay.
from 1 to 9.
So this is an interesting one, and it's a controversial one. My favorite is actually Revenge of the Sith,
Oh, you,
and I do have a reason for it because I kind of feel like it's
you grew up with the prequels.
well, I grew up with the prequels, but it kind of deals with deals with what happened in the past with the first two films, and it's kind of gone okay. So this is where it's been left.
See, I think that yeah. My problem with that one, and we will get there, is they completely character assassinate Padme.
Yeah, I think it's just because obviously I like I said to you, I watched uh episode 1, 2, and 3, and I thought okay, they're cool. And then obviously what amplified my interest in the last one was just the Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah, yeah.
That
The
kind of
TV show did a lot. Uh, ignoring the Clone Wars TV show, though, would it still be the same answer?
I don't actually know. I think if I didn't know as much as I would about the prequels right now, I think it probably would be different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I think it probably would be
you're probably
different.
giving context from.
I
Alright.
think I think if I didn't have oh, it's interesting because my favorite is Revenge of the Sith, but if it wasn't, I think Revenge of the Sith would probably have dropped to
Yeah.
my second dropped to my second favorite or my third, I think.
Alright, just go through your second and your third now. Anyway, just
Yeah.
complete your
So
entire list. Just
okay.
bash through them.
So Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
Then I'm probably gonna have to say Empire Strikes Back,
Yep.
and I kind of want to say Rogue One.
Oh, we're ignoring anthologies.
Oh, okay, anthology. So just
Yeah.
the prequels, the sequels, and the originals.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah. We'll deal with Rogue One and Solo another day.
So
We'll probably
okay,
tackle them with the Mandalorian at the same time because they're all sort of the same.
yeah, fair enough. Okay. So it goes Revenge of the Sith, Empire
Yep.
Strikes Back, and then I'm probably gonna have to say A New Hope.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. You're gonna finish all the way through your list, just smash through.
So okay, so then after
I mean,
that,
you have 5 left the list, so may as well finish them.
okay, so Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, A New
New
Hope.
Hope. Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's difficult because I'm trying to think about which. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna say Phantom Menace,
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones,
Yeah.
um, Force Awakens,
Yeah.
The Last Jedi,
Yeah.
and then Rise of Palpatine.
I hope that was intentional.
It was.
Oh, yeah. I've turned you against it. That's what happens if you spend a lot of time with me. You get turned against the rise of Palpatine.
Yep.
So I'll bash through mine because I have mine up actually up
Alright.
because I have a letterbox and So mine's Empire, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Palpatine.
Hey!
So we have the same list, apart from you put episode 3 at first and I put episode 3 at fourth.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just because obviously because
no,
I grew up with them. It's
See, I was 4 when Revenge of the Sith came out, so I think I missed that hype. You would have hit it just perfectly, so it's absolutely fine. I don't blame anyone who's like your age who hit that
when
hype.
did Revenge of the Sith come out again?
2007.
So I was 7. I was 7.
Yeah, I was very much 4. So yeah, you were like perfect age. I was just a touch too young to experience the hype train for that. Yeah, that you don't realize how quickly between Revenge of the Sith and Force Awakens, like that was not a short gap. Plus, you had Clone Wars in between. It's not like we were starved of Star Wars content when the Force Awakens came out.
I think at the moment, I think if you want something watchable, you go from Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So you watch the ending of Attack of the Clones, go all the way through Clone Wars, and then watch the last few episodes of season 7 of Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith in a mixture because I have watched that and it is amazing.
Oh, I've seen the Super. Yeah, so like for the best Star Wars just content, I think I'd say you do that and then you watch Rebels, yeah, and then you're done. Like that's the good recent Star Wars content. Clone Wars, Rebels. I don't know. I've never heard you talk about Rebels, but we'll get there another day, I assume.
I enjoyed Rebels. There are a few things that I kind of have
I
a
would
bit of
I would maybe suggest you start watching Clone Wars soon. Start watching Do again, because I'd imagine we'll get there on a review. Not anytime soon. Like review them in like batches, season 1 to 3, season 3 to 6, and then season 7 alone.
Yeah.
Like something like that. But you got a lot of reviews.
I was going to ask you a question, but I don't know if this is the right time to ask.
Go for it. This is the end of the episode.
So because we're just talking about Clone Wars, and this is the prequel era, what would you say is your favorite story arc from Clone Wars?
So you've got. I can hit you with a bunch.
Actually, I'm gonna be a bit mean, and I'm gonna say that you cannot use anything from the last season.
Yeah, to be honest, the last season didn't even come to mind. You're like. So my thought process was, okay, what's my favorite part of season 4, 5, and maybe 6? And it was like, and you went, Oh, 7 though. You can't use that. Okay, that's fine. So the
Mine
final.
isn't in season 7. I've got an interesting one.
Okay, I'll hit you with the few that could be mine, and then you hit me with yours, and then we'll end the episode up.
All right, go on.
Okay, so my 3. The final arc of Series 6, the one that finished on Netflix, the Yoda, where he realizes that this is a win setup.
Yeah.
And then you have the arc where Ahsoka leaves.
Yeah.
And then the Assange Ventress arc, or is it the Knights of Dathomir arc? I think it's called.
Is that the one where she recruits Savage?
So it's where she Ventress splits off from the Sith, goes her own sort of way, and then I think it's along the Ventress the Savage oppress.
Yeah.
Arc.
So
I think it's.
So she wants to take revenge on Dooku, but she can't do that.
Yeah.
So she.
I don't think that's really an arc on its own. I think it's more of a one character's arc, and Ventress and Ahsoka are just the best best characters from that show. But yeah, do you want to hit me with yours and then we can finish?
So, I think I'm gonna leave the best one till last. So, my favorite. So not my favorite. So I would have to say, what's the? I'm trying. So it's the arc where you have Fives trying to figure out what happened to Top.
Oh yeah, that one's a fine arc. See, I quite like it, but I think it's probably a little bit overrated.
I like that one.
Yeah.
My second one, I would probably have to say is what's it? Oh, what's the name of it? The Citadel.
Yeah.
I like the Citadel one, but my favorite one. So I both hate and love this arc so much, and I want to cry and cheer at the same time in different moments. And this is the Umbara arc.
Yeah.
So many good characters died.
Yeah. That was a quality arc. Let me just check. 7th episode. What's that? Yeah. That was a good arc. That's probably one of those favorites as well. I'd imagine we'll come back and we'll review Clone Wars probably season by season, maybe a couple seasons. I don't know. Maybe just review individual arcs of Clone Wars, just the good ones, because season 1 and 2 are pretty dead.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna finish now because I need to tap out. I'll talk to you next week. This has been a good episode. I've quite enjoyed this one.
I enjoyed it.
I've been Luke. He's been Fred. Au revoir.
See you guys later.